All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the eBay shop. My name's Corey.
I'm Teresa. Oh, you get a two-handed hello today.
And we are Grams and Pops Vintage, and today we're going to give you the truth about live selling. Our truth about live selling.
I don't want to say we lied.
We didn't lie. But we were giving our opinion about live selling without having ever tried it.
That is correct. But I'm not going to say our opinion was incorrect either, though.
So what we're going to do today is break down the good, the bad, the ugly, and what we plan to do in the future as far as live selling goes.
And our overall feelings of it.
And how we actually felt about the experience, because we did do 3 live selling shows this weekend.
Stop talking about it. That's first subject, the first topic.
Well, I'm not going to jump ahead. So we're going to go ahead and jump into, as usual, this is the weekend. It's Monday now. So we have all our weekend sales going out. So what's the first thing sold?
We sold some sippy cup lids. These are specifically for you. I should have kept them.
Why me?
I don't know, because they're sippy cup. Wah, wah, wah.
I don't use a sippy cup. I'm a big boy.
These are, I listed these and they sold super fast. These are Tupperware, vintage Tupperware sipper sippy cup tumbler replacement lids. Yep. There are 2 of them in there. Sure. They're in fabulous condition.
They're that old style sippy cup. The kind that if they tip over, they will spill, but they'll spill slowly.
No, they spill a lot.
Well, slower than a normal open cup. So that's what they are. How much do those sell for?
$12.99. So $6.50 per lid. Okay, next item up. We sold some jewelry. Isn't that a quinky dink?
That is a quinky dink. We sold this here. It's a necklace.
We did. It is by the brand Premier Designs. It is a twisted silver tone and gold tone thick chain necklace.
Yep, it's that one there. It's kind of cool.
It is 17 to 20 inches long because it has an adjustment piece.
What did that sell for?
It sold for $17 in free shipping, but it's just going to drop in a poly and go on its way.
You said it was 17 inches?
No, it was 17 to 20 inches.
And it sold for $17?
Yep, $1 an inch.
$1 an inch. There you go.
$1 an inch.
All right, so we might look a little ragged today and a little tired because we did decide on a whim Friday afternoon.
Yeah, somebody who doesn't do things slowly. It was, oh, hey, let's sign up for Whatnot. Oh, hey, let's do our first show in 2 hours.
Yeah, if we're going to do something, we don't tend to do it slow.
No, reword that.
I don't move slow. If I'm going to do something, I just do it. I take that first step really fast, and the second, and the fourth, and the ninth. So we dove in Friday afternoon. I hit the button on Whatnot because they had been inviting us to sell.
For the last year and a half.
So I went ahead and hit the button to accept it and went through the process. It took just a few minutes now compared to what they used to do. Now it's just you hit the button and
he watched you have
to do a quiz.
The how-to video.
Yeah, you have to go through a video. It's really simple now. But I did that, and then right away once I was done with that, I scheduled our first show.
Yep, so we did a first show Friday evening. We did necklaces, which there will probably be, I have hundreds of necklaces at my office. I bought a bunch of lots of jewelry from my proxy bid dealer.
That's kind of what prompted your dealer. That's kind of what prompted the whole live selling thing for us in the first place. We're sitting at our office at our escape room in town, and there's literally boxes all over the floor of mounds of jewelry. Rings, necklaces, bracelets, brooches.
Yeah.
It's just piled up everywhere, and it's stuff we've already picked through. We have a bunch of it on eBay. We actually sold a bunch while we were doing our live show. We sold 2 or 3 pieces of jewelry on eBay. So we have our money back from all of it.
Yep.
We're in the clear on all that jewelry. So everything that's sitting in those boxes is just free inventory that's probably on its way to donation or commons or something like that.
So we did 3 shows this weekend. Friday night, we did necklaces. All necklaces. We did all kinds of necklaces.
Yep. Saturday
night, I brought in the rest of my costume rings that we bought from our huge costume ring buy, or our ring buy. We're 100% in the profit on that by a long ways because we only paid what?
400% in the profit on that.
$200 for that, or
yeah,
did we pay
sold
$175?
It was $175, I think.
And I've sold a whole lot of rings on that already. And then Sunday night, we did a whole bracelet lot. Like I still have bags of bracelets that I can get rid of.
So in total, we did 3 shows, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we signed up Friday, did a show Saturday at 7 p.m., did a show Sunday at 7 p.m., all on Whatnot. And we moved, in the 3 shows, we moved $252 worth of jewelry.
We actually sold $247 worth of jewelry.
And we got
somebody gave us
tip.
a $5 tip.
Yep. So That, and our total time in the shows was about 3 hours. The first one was like 43 minutes or something. The next one was a little longer, and the last one
he
was
just
like
kept pushing it. Like, let's keep going. Come on, we got to hit this dollar amount.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, and I'll tell you that in the ugly part.
We got to like $90 in the last show, and I was like, why stop now? Let's have our first $100 show. So we sold a few more items, and we actually hit the $100 show.
We did.
So how many items did we sell in total?
So we sold 98 orders, but there were a couple of them that I know one for sure had 4 items in it.
One had 2.
And one had 2 items in it. So 98, 99, 100, 101, 102. So we sold 102 items for $252. That's over $2 an item.
Yep. And in 3 hours of showtime total, we made about $80 an hour. Is about what that came out to.
Yep.
Now, that doesn't count the setup time.
No, that doesn't count.
Which is about 30 minutes a show. It wasn't terrible. We did random pulls, so we didn't have to take pictures of everything. It was pretty easy to set up. And the best part of it, because we were a new seller on Whatnot, they have a program where if you make your first 5 sales and you do at least 2.5 hours of show time,
120 minutes,
122 hours of show time, then they will match your first 100 up to 150 in sales. So we got the $150.
So technically we made $402.
Yep.
For 3 shows.
Yep. So that's the good. That's the part that actually turned out well for us. So that's the good part of our live selling experience. We're going to look at the bad, the ugly, and what we're going to do in the future as we go forward here. So let's look at what sold next.
We sold a Trinket box. This came out of my proxy bid stuff too. It's kind of unique, but it is a vintage. It's marked FKS, rectangular ornate metal with white enamel cameo Trinket box.
And it's footed.
It is footed.
It looks like that. It's pretty cool. It's like a yellowish color inside, goldish yellow.
Does it have a...
Like felt.
Oh, it does have
Yep, it does
velvet.
have some in there. So that's what the Trinket box is. Pretty heavy. What'd that sell for?
$25. I took an offer on it.
All right, the next thing we sold, we probably could do a whole live selling show for.
Could.
We have so much of this stuff left. I don't need my hand behind that.
No.
But we did sell a cut and sew. Or not a cut and sew, a Stampin' Up.
We sold Stampin' Up Many Merry Stars photopolymer Stampin' set. It is complete and it's like new. Oh, I think there's pink on there.
I think a little bit has been used, but
so it's all about stars.
Stars and trees and snowflakes.
Yeah, it's a little past.
It says 'tis the season. It's a Christmas one, so.
Yeah. Okay, so that sold for $13.99, but free shipping. I think maybe we might have to do that. Could you imagine doing a Stampin' Up show?
I don't know if there's an audience for it. I guess we'll see.
I don't know, but I could get my money back because if I do $2
we have our
start,
money back from
no,
that.
I know, but if I just do $2 starts, I'm pretty sure we only paid like 40 cents for each one of them.
Yeah, and we've been in the profit on those since like 2 weeks after we bought them.
Because
Like
what
we
did
did
we pay,
really
like $130 some dollars?
Yeah, and we
think
sold
so.
a bunch of money worth of them. All the brand new ones, a lot of the brand new ones sold pretty quick.
Yep, they did.
All right, so the bad. What was the bad part of our live selling experience? And it doesn't necessarily have to do too much with just Whatnot in particular. It's just live selling.
In general, it's stressful. Like, dude, and it's overwhelming. Like, I don't mind doing these videos because we're not live. But when you're live, you have to entertain people. Like, you gotta talk to everybody.
Yeah, when you're doing a live show, you are the dancing monkey. Like, you have to keep things flowing. You have to be talking.
The one bonus of doing the jewelry shows is, other than the shiny, silvery jewelry, I don't have to show my face.
Yeah, we weren't actually on camera for any of it really because we're showing jewelry and it needs a close-up view. So we kind of had it set up to where it's showing our table and the jewelry display, but we weren't really on camera for much of it. But
we were
still,
on camera in the beginning. We just said hello, everybody, and that was it.
You still have to keep the conversation going and you have to keep things moving in front of the camera. You can't just let it go to a blank screen.
The first show was bad. Like, there was a lot of silence because I didn't know what to say. But I will say, I did get better as we went.
And I think that was on us, but the stressful part of it was a lot of inexperience.
Yep.
But still, I do think the live selling is something you have to be comfortable with, and not very many people are going to be good at it
Nope.
from the beginning. We certainly weren't, and we're comfortable on camera.
Are we, though? We're comfortable on behind the scenes camera where it's recorded and you can edit it.
Yeah, we're comfortable. We're comfortable on camera when we can edit and decide what you see.
Yep.
But it is still overwhelming. It's a lot. You don't know the buttons. We didn't know the platform.
No, and part of it was, for me, for being stressful is I do have a potty mouth.
She does cuss a little.
And so I have to like physically think about it, mentally think about it.
Physically think about it.
Physically think about it. I was doing this every time I'd cuss. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't do that. Now I got a red mark on my forehead. But anyway, so I got to think about that when I'm talking to people.
Yeah.
And I am opinionated.
A little bit.
So I also have to watch just what I say.
Yeah. You do have to be careful when you're on camera. You don't want to offend the audience. At the same time, we really don't. If we offend somebody, they're not our buyer anyway, so it's fine. But you do have to kind of curb what you say a little bit. But I think there's a lot of work before and after the show that
There is.
Live selling is, anybody that thinks that live selling is the easy thing to do is wrong, because it's a lot.
If you think about it, there's a lot of before and after when you sell on eBay too.
There is, but it feels like it's less pressure.
Less pressure, yes, because you can do it at your own pace.
Yep.
Whereas this, especially the first night, Corey's like, hey, by the way, we're doing a whatnot show in 2 hours.
And you're the one hosting it.
I'm like, what? But yeah, so, you have to, the one good thing about what we do when we did our sales is we didn't preload anything.
No, we did
We just did
poll.
random polls. So it's not like, I don't have to take lots of pictures beforehand, but you do have to go in and pick out a whole bunch of stuff so you have a selection, which, amazing enough, I did not do. Well, the first show I did.
Well, I did all the setup of the shows. I picked out most of the things we were going to sell. I did take Teresa's advice on the first show, especially what we were going to sell. So we kind of got set up. No, we don't agree. Our tastes are vastly different.
What I think is butt ugly, Corey's like, ooh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, we have vastly different tastes, which actually worked to our advantage for the shows because we gave them a good variety.
It did.
But I was doing all the setup of the show on the computer and setting up the thumbnail and all that stuff.
Yeah, I didn't do any of that stuff.
And that takes about 30 minutes a show if you're doing a random poll show. So it's not a lot, but it is high pressure because you want to get it right.
Yep.
And you don't want to mess up and you want to have your things in order. Now, after the show...
After the show is like while you're running the show, you have to keep track of what's selling because, one, you don't have pictures. So when you go to look at the orders, you just see the thumbnail. You can't see whatever, but you have to package up all these orders. Like we had lots of things sell. So you got to package them all up.
Yeah, being our first time, it was basically almost like a full weekend of sales that we added to our full weekend of sales for today. So it's a lot of packing afterwards, and it's a lot of small packing. So luckily we did have buyers buying multiple things, so they cut down on the number of packages, but it is quite a bit. Now we did have a couple of glitches, and this would be more towards the Whatnot platform in specific.
The one I blame Corey. That's operator error.
We had a couple of glitches. One glitch was we went to add a product to a show on our last show, and we ran it. And then it disappeared and we couldn't add a new product. And we did add a new product like 3 times, but it wasn't showing up. So it took us a while and we had to fumble through and keep people in the room while we were basically doing nothing.
Yep. And then not only that, but instead of putting it in as an auction, somebody put it in as a buy it now so you couldn't run an auction on it.
Yeah. So Whatnot was glitching a little bit while we were doing that last show. And that kind of made things difficult for us, especially being new. We didn't know how to handle that. We just kind of did the best we could. Now, the other thing we had a glitch on was our first show. We had a package that somebody ordered multiple items.
Yep.
And what it actually packed out to was less in weight than what Whatnot said it was going to be. And it was smaller in size than Whatnot was going to be. But Whatnot charged us a $2 overage on it. And we had to use an adjustment to get rid of that $2 so we didn't have to pay for it. Now, Whatnot does give you 5 adjustments.
Per week.
Yep. But our package came in lighter and smaller than Whatnot said it was supposed to be according to their calculations. And we still got a $2 overage. It was weird. It was a glitch. It didn't cost us anything, but it was weird.
I do have to say this about Whatnot as well. They're shipping. So like on eBay, if you sell something and you underestimate, you have to pay the overage, right?
You do.
if you sell something and you overestimate it, you get to keep the funds.
Yep.
We do refund some of it if it's, oh my gosh, more. But on Whatnot, you don't touch the shipping at all. Whatnot keeps every bit of that shipping.
Well, you touch it if
it's over.
Yeah, if you collect more in shipping than what it costs, Whatnot gets to keep that. If you collect less than what it costs, you have to pay the difference.
After your 5 adjustments.
After your 5 adjustments. So I don't care for their shipping all that much. I'm not a big fan of their shipping.
And I don't like that you're forced to use their shipping.
Yeah, we should be able to just fire it up and pirate ship. Give us our shipping money that we collected. Just give it to us, put it in the payout. Yep. And if we want to use pirate ship, we use pirate ship. Yep. I know they negotiate good rates and all that stuff, but I don't like the way they handle their shipping.
And they force, for anything under a pound, you can use Ground Advantage. But they force for everything.
You could change it. You could change it in the
shipping
I did.
Profile. I thought it was everybody uses priority shipping for that.
Some of this may be our own experience because we're new. Yep. So if we're saying something that's incorrect, let us know.
Correct us.
But so far I'm not impressed with Whatnot's shipping platform, with the way they force you to do the shipping. And I know other platforms allow you to do a different way. I know on District, for example, they allow you to use your own shipping method, and they don't charge fees on the shipping. And
Bonanza,
you can ship however you want.
But Bonanza, if you do Bonanza, if you use their shipping, you get the discounted rate. But if you don't use their shipping, they charge you $2. But
that's not live selling.
No, I guess not. But neither's eBay. So I'm comparing apples. It's just shipping in general, live selling or whatever. Shipping is shipping.
So that's the bad. Now we'll go into the ugly next, but we have a few more items that sold. What's the first one?
We sold some Patagonia. This is kind of a unique Patagonia. It is a Patagonia men's blue Better Sweater vest, fleece-lined, full zip with pockets.
There's the Better Sweater. It's got a fish on the front of it.
Most of them I've never seen.
It's a 2XL. I should have kept that.
You don't wear a vest.
Oh, it's a vest?
It's a vest.
Oh, it's a vest. I'm not a vest guy.
But most of them that I saw of these Better Sweaters.
It's got a fish on it. I might have worn a vest for the fish.
I don't know if they added that patch afterwards, because it kind of looks like it. Based on the stitching, it looks like somebody...
It could have been.
added after the fact. But anyways, that came from Proxy Bid as well.
Well, that's helpful.
And it sold for $42.
All right, so the next one, we got a 10X with a pheasant in it.
10X is the brand. It's super cool. It's like a military jacket.
It's not a vest, it's a jacket.
No, it's they called it like a shacket, a shirt jacket.
Oh, it's that. It's a short sleeve jacket.
Yep.
Looks like it's a woman's.
It's not. It's men's.
Is it? Oh, yes. It's got. The reason I say that it's got like a waist thing in the back, but it's not.
Nope.
But it's a National Guard rifle.
All National Guard rifle team.
Yep. And I think that's probably what sold the jacket.
Yep. I tried to get a whole bunch of those patches at a Whatnot auction, but those patches ended up going for like $60 for like 20 patches, and I couldn't do that.
So what'd that sell for?
$30.
All right, so the ugly.
Don't talk about yourself.
Come on now. I would have to say most of the ugly is myself.
It was you.
Yeah, most of the ugly that happened in the live selling that we're going to be talking about was self-inflicted, and it's just from inexperience. We had, after the show in 2 different shows, we had items that were not
marked with a number.
They were not marked for who bought them, so we didn't know where they went to, and we had to go do some investigating to figure out.
The one was marked, but you put it in with the wrong stuff.
The one was marked, but I put it in the wrong thing, which we caught before we shipped. So everything's good. Everybody's getting their own stuff. But I will say, Whatnot has no easy way to tell you what sold to who. Even though we numbered everything 1 through whatever.
Yep.
Even if you figure out what number the item was, there's still no easy way to go into Whatnot. Well, there is in the orders, I guess. But if you lose track of something, say you don't know what number it is, there's no easy way in Whatnot to go back and find out.
Nope.
What sold to who.
Especially doing random pull shows.
If you're doing a show where you actually take a picture of every single item before the show and you show them in your bin, then it's very easy, I think. But that's a lot longer setup. If you do a random pull show like we were, where we were just selling 1 through 40, trying to figure out who bought what can be a nightmare. There is a replay of the show you could go watch, but only from the phone. And when you go watch it, you don't see the names or the chat or who bought what either. You just kind of have to do some detective work to figure it out.
Yep.
And
so
we did.
The one that he had marked with the right number, but he stuck it in with the wrong package. We knew what sold
Next.
before
One
and
before.
after it.
Right.
So we had to watch the replay up until we saw that one, and then we had to see what number 8 was because he was combining the bags. So if people bought multiple items rather than we were putting things in bags with numbers, instead of giving them all of the bags, which I don't want to have to keep going and buying bags.
And it would have worked out pretty good, except for some of the bracelets were like bead bracelets and I could throw them in a sandwich bag. And some of them were much bigger bracelets where you couldn't close the bag. So some of them would come out of the bags. So the back end organization was not where it should have been. Going forward, I don't think we would make that mistake again, just because we've already had to suffer through the pain of it.
I think we might have to do it as a 2-person team doing it. Somebody reading from the computer and somebody grabbing the items instead of somebody doing it by themselves.
Yeah, it got a little ugly in the back end organization-wise, and it was very difficult to sort out because they don't make it very easy to find out who bought what, which I think they could do a better job of. But a lot of that was our own inexperience, I guess.
Yeah, they could just take, your item number, your item, as it's bidding. Once it says 1, it should just pop that up. Like, you don't need to see all the chat and everything, but just to pop up where a thing sold.
Yeah, well, even just put the chat, and because if you're watching the replay video, if you're watching it live, you see the winner of that item pops up on the screen.
Yep.
If they would just put that back on the video replay so you could see that, then you'd be able to actually use that as kind of a video receipt of who bought everything. And it would be much easier to kind of find out who bought what. That would be a huge help for the random pull shows. The only other really ugly thing we ran into was just running the show. Like, that's a difficult thing to do. Yep,
and part of it was, making sure that, and in the last one, the bracelet one, I was trying to pay attention to the jewelry as I was doing it, but I was also trying to pay attention to the chat to see who was bidding and who was winning and if people were talking. And for me, I multitask normally pretty well.
I do not.
But I was trying to catch, new people coming into the show just to welcome them. I was trying to catch those who decided to start following us so they can see our next shows when we schedule them.
I thought you did pretty good with that on the third show. It took a couple, though.
The first one was horrible. I didn't welcome anybody in, I don't think.
Yeah, the first one was horrible. So now I will say one of the things that kind of fits in the bad and ugly. If somebody asked us, should we go sell on this platform? The one thing I would say kind of falls into the bad and ugly is a lot of our buyers and a lot of the reason the people were buying were largely because people like Jack or Brian and Tracy at Jack's Treasures and Ken and Jill at SSK Promo and Kachurka and whatnot. They were coming in and sharing our show and they were buying things. So I guess I would call it almost like reciprocal buyers. They're supporting you and they're buying from you, and then you go support them back and buy from them. But they weren't actual buyers. I think if we had just been nobody just out of the blue started and nobody knew us and nobody was supporting us, I think our shows would have been pretty empty. Mm-hmm. Like, we might have sold 5 items between 3 shows. I really don't think we would have done what we did.
No, but I will say one bonus that we didn't do in any of the other pieces that I thought was awesome is on Whatnot, not only on Whatnot, but on some of the other platforms that are out there. When you get done with your show, you can take your whole entire viewing people.
The audience?
Yeah, the viewing audience. And you can take them over to somebody else's show.
Raid.
Did we raid the first one?
Yeah, we did all 3.
So I don't know who we raided to the first time, but the second show, it melted my heart.
We did a raid to somebody also doing jewelry at the time, but they only had like 2 people in their auction.
Yep.
And that's all we knew. It was the name of the show and they had 2 people. We were like, okay, let's send our people there. And we did. And when they got there, we realized it was a little girl.
It was a little
and
like
her dad doing a jewelry show, and it was their first show? Or was it
No,
was one of their early shows? It was,
Yep.
But they just had 2 people in there. So to be able to put people in there and they started buying the same things that they were buying in our show and support somebody like that, that's probably what our show would have been like.
Yep.
Had we not had the support of the people who already knew us.
Yep.
So it felt good to go in and raid them. Like, that was kind of a highlight of our night. We talked about it all the way home.
We did. It was just so cool because it's a little girl who got a whole bunch of costume jewelry rings, and she was there, and her dad was letting her run the show.
Yeah.
It was just, I don't know. It was cool to see a budding entrepreneur.
Yeah. But I don't think our experience of doing 3 shows for $252, I don't think that would be the normal experience.
No.
Now, we didn't go out and promote it to our YouTube channel that we were
No.
doing it. We didn't try and pull a bunch of our own audience in.
Nope.
We did make a quick post on our Facebook and Instagram page that we were going to do one like an hour before we did it.
Yep.
And then, but we had the support of some community that were already on whatnot.
Yep.
And I think that made all the difference in the world.
But I will say, from our first show, we had Brian and Tracy and Jill and Ken that were out there buying stuff from us, which was very, very nice. I don't want to say it was special. That sounds weird. But it was very nice of them to come out and support our show. By the last show, though, we only had...
We had a lot of new buyers.
2 repeat buyers. Everybody else in the, 10 orders that we had, the other 8 people, were new people that came in and watched our show and bought lots of stuff.
Yeah, we did progressively through show 1, 2, and 3 start getting more people. We started with 38 followers, and I think we ended with like 90 followers.
Awesome.
So it progressively did get better, but I don't think without that boost of kickstart from the community that I think we'd probably still be at like 10 followers at the end. I think it would be a very slow thing. The cool thing is that was 98 or 104 pieces or whatever of things that were going to go to donation that are now
going to somebody else
they're
that will
going to
either
somebody else, and we made some money on it. So,
that will either wear them
or
they'll
sell them.
resell them. Maybe they have a booth that they sell jewelry in.
And I don't know if it matters, but we did all $2 starts. We looked at it at doing $1 starts, but
Nope.
if we had to pay for the packaging and the box we were shipping in and everything else, the $1 start we would have went upside down on.
Yep.
So we did $2 starts, and most everything sold at the $2.
Yep. We did have a couple items that, by my mistake, were marked items. And
We did sell a
they
few
went
pieces
higher.
of
925.
925 and stuff like that. If we found them in the pile, they went on auction. So,
Yep, they did.
all right. So what's sold next?
Oh, my next sale. It is fabulous. I've been waiting for this one to sell.
It's a Stampede Wiener Dog
Look,
jersey.
point out right there on the front. See that nice little stain?
Nice little
Pretty sure that's a blood stain.
or pea stain or
No, I'm pretty sure it's
chili
blood.
dog stain
It's
or
hockey.
could be anything.
No, it's a blood stain.
We got this in a free bag.
We did. So that came from all of our stuff that came out of that storage unit that we picked up here in town that the guy was like, here's the code, just go grab what you want.
Yep.
So it is a Sioux Falls Stampede, so a local hockey team.
Yep.
It is from their Wiener Dog game, and it is a worn jersey just based on all of the staining on it
is a
and
game,
looking it up.
Yeah, it is a game jersey, and it is a worn jersey, and you wouldn't think by looking at it with the stains and everything it'd be worth anything, but
I don't think he plays there anymore. The guy, I don't even remember who it is.
what'd that sell for?
Fulmer. It sold. I had it listed for $474.99, but I took an offer on it for $404.
$400 for a chili dog stained local hockey team jersey.
It's a blood-stained jersey that's been washed. Keep that in mind, because I washed everything out of that unit.
All right, the next thing is one of these little
He's not
naval
little.
sailor guy. Well, he's like a foot tall.
He-
We bought some of these before at a Goodwill, a set of
St.
3.
Vincent de Paul.
St. Vincent de Paul. And they're really light. It's almost like balsa wood.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, they probably don't have much value, but they sold really quick.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy has been sitting on our shelf for months. He's been back there a long
Pretty sure he's been back there since like early garage sale season last year.
Probably.
But he is a folk art wood hand carved painted nautical captain man figure. He is 10 inches tall.
What did he sell for?
$24.99.
And he sold within a week.
He did.
All right, so the future of reselling. What are we?
No, not the future of reselling.
Not the future.
of
Well,
live
I would like to
reselling.
say I've heard a lot of resellers out there talking about live reselling is the future of reselling.
Okay, but here's the deal with live selling. I don't mind doing it, whatever. I have watched shows, whatever, but here's my deal.
Your deal?
If I know I want something,
You're just gonna go buy it.
I'm going to go buy it. I don't want to have to sit and wait through a show to see if they're going to sell something I want.
Yeah, I think anybody telling you that live selling is the future of reselling for e-commerce is trying to sell you something live. I think they're full of baloney. I think it has a future.
It does.
But I think it also has a long historical past. It was QVC evolved.
Oh, God.
That's all this
QVC
is.
and Home Shopping Network.
Yeah, it's literally all it is. It just lets anybody that wants to.
But it's not at night now either. It's
Well, it could
all
be,
day.
It's all day long. So it's that. I mean, that's what it is. The people that want to go buy something, if I need a new truck hitch, I'm not going on Whatnot and waiting
for somebody to sell you a truck hitch.
Yeah, I'm going to go search on Amazon or on Google and I'm going to find a truck hitch. I'm going to buy it, or I'm going to go locally into a hardware store and buy it. So yeah, not by any means would I say live selling is the future of reselling. As a matter of fact, I think it will always be
second best.
I think it will always fall in second place. I think static selling is always going to be where the real money's made. But I think it works great as a back door to squeeze the last amount of profit out of things that are getting ready to go away.
It is. And so you always hear people doing the whole fast dime, slow nickel. Is that how that saying goes?
Fast nickel over a slow dime.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, they're
however
full of
that
shit.
is. But, you know, I struggle with some of it because I know if I do my research and I can find the item, that's with a lot of this jewelry that we're selling. It's not stuff that I can identify.
Yeah.
Because there's no markings on it or anything like that. But if I can identify it and I know it's worth, $20, I would much rather wait and sell it for $20 on eBay than to let it go for $2.
Well, it's not even much rather. I mean, if you're saying you would take half price for an item to sell it in a day rather than full price for an item to sell it in a week, you're just not good at business. It's just not a good business model. It's never been a good business model. Not if you're going out and sourcing specific.
Yeah.
That's one thing. We would never specifically source for live selling. We just would never do that because it's just not a good business decision.
No, because if I look at, I see lots of people that are on there selling, I think they buy pallets.
Now, yeah, if you're buying that way, if you're buying pallets or storage lockers where you're going to get a bunch of overflow, I do think live selling is a great avenue now that we've done it. I do think live selling is a great tool to use to take the stuff that you're not going to list, cherry pick the good stuff off that you want to put on your profitable platform. And then all that other stuff, I think live selling is a great place for that because it's just random.
Well, and it is because, some people, they're like us. We try to do nothing under $10, typically, is what we try to list.
In our eBay store.
In our eBay store. So, if we find items that are, worth $5, $6 and we can sell them for, $2 and somebody else wants to buy it to sell on their eBay store because they're okay with selling that.
There's stuff we can't sell on eBay, like as seen on TV stuff. We have a bunch of that in the shop. We'll probably now put on live selling because we can't sell it on eBay, or you're not supposed to. So there is a place in the toolbox for live selling.
Yep.
Would I suggest somebody go out and do that as their main income? Absolutely not. And
there are people who do it though.
there are people who do it,
but
it's just not something we would ever do. Personally, I don't think it's a good business model to do that as a business.
No, because for me,
unless your circumstance is different than ours. I will say that if you run a bin store and at the end of the week, all those things that didn't sell in the bin store,
you run those on
Whatnot. Like that's an important part of your business model, but your bin store is still your money.
Yep, and part of that is your bin store, you only get the local people, whereas the local people might not want what you're selling in the store, but you can sell that on Whatnot or another live selling platform for somebody across the country, across the world, that may be interested in selling that item.
Now, I would even put another caveat in there. If you're a huge YouTuber with 50, 60,000 followers and you want to just turn and burn junk without ever doing the work of static listing, then this is a viable business model, but the profit margins are way low. But at least if you have a massive following of people that are going to buy from you just because they're you, and you're okay with them buying your crap because it's you, and you don't care they're getting it for that price, then I do think your profit margins go up because of that.
Oh yeah.
So I do think it can be done. I'm not saying it's absolutely an undoable business model, but I think you have to have an audience of people that are willing to humor you and say, oh, your name is this, so I'm going to pay you more than I should. And to me, that's a silly business model, but it is viable for the people with the following.
That is correct. And there are some that, that's all they do is live selling, no static selling at all. And I don't know, I don't want to bank on that because I don't want to go buy, I don't want to say junk. Because like our jewelry
for it.
our jewelry isn't junk. It's nice jewelry. It's just not something I want to sell.
And we try not to source things we don't know enough about to sell.
That is correct.
Or we try to learn it if we do want to sell it.
I did. I just bought, what was that thing that I just bought that's in my
The
trunk?
oscilloscope?
Yeah, but it's called something else.
It's a tube scope, but...
Yeah, I bought that on Proxybid. Meh. I didn't realize how big it was and how heavy it was.
And that's different. We have one item, we need to research it and then sell it, as opposed to buying a storage locker full of that item that we now have to get rid of for little or nothing. But all that said, the future of reselling as far as grams and pops goes in the live selling category, I think we will tinker some more, but I think we're going to try some other platforms as well.
Yep.
I think we'll try over on District a little bit. We'd
There's
like
a couple
to see
different places.
we'd like to see what the experience is on different platforms other than just Whatnot.
Yep.
Whatnot still has some things I'm not a fan of. There's still a lot of people doing gambling shows and stuff on Whatnot. There's a lot of shady shysters over there.
Yep, there is.
Not all of them, and not even, I wouldn't even say the majority of them, but they seem to get away with it. It's a little bit Wild West over there where they could put a bunch of crap in a bag and say, well, it's worth $50. Buy what's in the bag, and you don't know what's in the bag.
No, I don't like those kind of shows at all.
No, that's gambling. You shouldn't be doing it. There are some things we're not super fond of, but all in all, we'll give you our overall experience feelings here at the end. Let's go through the last two items that sold.
Okay, let me pull up my phone. We sold some jeans. We sold some silver jeans, women's, Sookie high baby boot light wash mid-rise denim jeans.
Silver
Look at all those words you got put in there for people to find it.
Yep, but they did sell. What did those sell for?
$24.99.
All right, the last item is one that we just listed.
I did. I pulled it out of our death pile. I am down to only a couple totes left of death pile stuff, besides all the clothes that are back there that I don't know what I'm doing with.
That says Radio Shack.
It does. It is a Radio Shack Trunk Tracker 800 megahertz Pro 2050 with an AC adapter. Yep. It is tested as far as I can test it. It powers on. It's not the original power supply that goes with it.
But it's compatible.
It is compatible, so it does power on. It does work like it should.
It doesn't have the external antenna that plugs into here, but that's a common antenna plug, so they can get one.
Somebody can buy their antenna. But it was only on the store for about 4 days.
Yeah. What'd that sell for?
$34.99. Pretty sure we have only a couple dollars in it.
All right, so I'll defer to you here on this one first. Overall feelings about live selling in general. What are you thinking?
I will guarantee you we will not do 3 shows in a row.
We will not do that again, probably, yeah. Well,
No.
probably most definitely because I'm not running the show, and if she's not wanting to do 3 in a row, then we're not
No,
doing 3
that
in a
was
row.
like, I don't know. It was really overwhelming. Part of it was we have a lower table for me.
It's a lot of bending around and
My back is still trying to recover from bending over. The necklace one wasn't so bad because I could just put them on there and people could see them. The ring one, you got to spin them.
We need a better setup, and it would make that better. But I'm exhausted. Like, my legs are tired. I did a lot of calling people, like phone a friend for help type thing.
So when he phones a friend, he paces, which means he probably got 20 miles in this weekend.
Yeah, it was crazy because we were reaching out to people. We reached out to Brian, we reached out to Ken, and we asked questions about how to do certain things. Well, I reached out.
I don't talk. Not that I don't talk to them. That sounded horrible. I'm not the one that goes out and I do. I lied. I do. I found some new friends on TikTok that I watch their lives that are resellers, and it's fun to talk to them. But
yeah, we did. It was a ton of work. I think we will do more. We'll probably do more here in the near future. I mean, we have a ton of necklaces and bracelets and rings and brooches and stuff that we're not listing on eBay that I think
Stampin' Up. They're listed on eBay, but
and if you guys remember that clothing haul we did where we just took trailer and a truck and went and grabbed clothes.
Yeah, where the hockey jersey came from.
The hockey jersey came from that. Yep. We have bags and bags and bags of clothes that we could go through.
And we went through them already once.
We took the eBay stuff out.
No, we did 2 things. We took the eBay things out, and we went through them to pull out anything that was stained, ruined, crappy, no tags, because I don't want to measure everything.
Everything that's left in there is decent clothing. That has no issues. It's just not stuff we're going to list on eBay. One, we don't like clothing that much. And if it wasn't a standout like a vintage shirt or a jersey or something, it's just not the kind of stuff we sell.
Suit jackets. I kept almost all of the suit jackets.
So at this point, it's go donate or use a live selling platform and sell it that way. So it is a tool that I think we'll use more in the future.
Yep, I think those ones, when we get to the clothing, it might have to be like not individual selling. It might be, okay, you get these 5 shirts together for $5. I mean, it's $1 a shirt, but
it will never be a big enough tool in the toolbox to where you guys are going to hear about Whatnot a lot on this channel.
No.
So if this video is off-putting because you're not a Whatnot person, don't worry. We don't care about Whatnot. We're just talking about live selling in general.
Yep.
And it's not something that we're going to be bringing to this channel a lot. It'll be a once-in-a-while thing to take care of overflow on the back end. And we get, you know, we did $252 worth of stuff that would have gone to a donation box. So for us, it was a mixed bag of experience, but I think we got more out of it than it took from us.
Plus, you know, we did say we were going to dabble in other platforms, so it may not be Whatnot, it may be District, it may be a YouTube Live just to sell our stuff, it may be an Instagram Live just to sell our stuff.
But I think what we proved to ourselves overall, for me anyway, what I took out of it is that stuff that we usually load up in the truck and take out of here has value
to somebody.
And the amount of work it took to get that value was a lot. But $80 an hour, I think it's worth it. To me, it was worth it.
That's maybe a little more than a hooker makes.
Well, I don't know. I haven't paid for a hooker in a while.
I've never paid for a hooker.
Jeez.
I'm sorry.
Well, on that note, guys.
FYI, you cannot put hooker in the comments on Whatnot either. Because somebody was talking in a live I was in, a Whatnot live, and he was talking about the boots and the boots, the doll boots that him and his wife were talking about. And he wanted to call him something. Well, I tried to type hooker in there. It told me it was a forbidden word in there. So then I tried to type H00KER, trying to surpass it, and it blocked that too.
Remember when she said she had a potty mouth?
Hooker is not a potty mouth.
This is why you don't want to bring her live all the time. But
now, if I called him an SL Utah, that might be different.
All right. On that note, we're going to get out of here before we do get ourselves canceled on YouTube.
Thank you for watching.
We will see you guys next time.
Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.
We will see you guys next time.
Oh, man. I just went to do it. Sorry. Hasta la vista, baby.